Hello, it's actually the last day of the challenge, but challenge 20 was actually a more interesting um, problem. And I noticed that the way that I solved it and the way that Lighthouse suggested that we solve it is very different than what all of you decided to do. So I thought I'll hop on to just show you a different solution. Okay, so we have this very convoluted string because all these numbers are actually supposed to be vowels. So we basically have to unscramble the message. And so we have to write a function called decode message. And basically we take in the gibberish string and turn it into something readable. Okay, so how you guys decided to solve it is to do a string replace, and you're doing like multiple replaces at the same time. So this works because, so you first have the message here, and then the first time it runs the replace function is replacing all the ones and turning into i's, and then it passes that string into replace the number 2 into use. So at each replace, fewer numbers are appearing, and finally you have the decoded message. So that's one way of doing it. But actually in the description, it says that you can split the string into an array of characters using message.split, and you would join them all back at the end using message.join. So with their hint, I decided to do it kind of their way, and it made sense to me, right? So this is the solution that most people went with, and it's, it looks a lot simpler. It's just a one-liner here, and the one that I have is a lot longer. But if we needed to decode more characters, then the one that I have would make more sense than having like 20 plus like replaces here. So because the message that we had to decode wasn't super complicated, the replace method still works fine. And oh yeah, I just wanted to talk about the replace method for a little bit here. So when you have the // here, it means that this is a regular expression. And regular expression is kind of like a pattern matching language that you can use. And so here we're only looking for one character, which is 1. But we could also be looking for characters like A to Z or something like that. I'm not super familiar with how JavaScript does this because I usually do it with PHP. But something like this would mean, okay, look for a part in the string that is just letters, and this would be just one letter. And if I add a star, it means that it can be multiple letters, like a word. So every time, say maybe every time it finds a word, I would replace it with word. So this is just some background information. And then the G here means that we want to replace all the instances that appears. Normally the replace function, if we just did 1, it would just replace the first instance. So if we had the regular expression with the G, it replaces all the instances when 1 appears. Okay, so on to my solution that I decided to do. So first I am splitting all the characters, of splitting the message into individual characters. So then this becomes an array. So let me just copy this. And I'm just gonna switch to the console here so it's easier to see. Maybe zoom in a little bit. So you can see that I'm really used to typing PHP because automatically I just put the $sign in. But okay, let's have message here. And if I did this code here, you can see, oh, there's 101 characters here. I didn't know that was how long the string was. So, and then I have kind of like a little dictionary here of the numbers and the corresponding vowels. So if I needed to have more characters to convert, I can just add on to this list. And then I have an array where I'm basically saving a new copy with the right characters in here. And so I'm looping through my characters, and I'm using A for each loop. So every time this function runs, it's taking one character. So the first time it runs, it'll take the T. And if this object has the property, so if the property T exists, then I am pushing into the array of like whatever the conversion is supposed to be. So for T, obviously it's already a letter, so it's not going to do anything. I don't need to do anything because it's already a letter. So I would just push the original character in here. So when it gets to 1, what happens is it's going to look at my dictionary and it's going to be asked, okay, is this a character that I'm looking for and that I need to translate? And it would be like, yes, this is a 1. So we need to push the I inside of convert array. And so I can actually just put this code in here. Oh, right, I have not put in the num vowels. Okay, so I'll just put my dictionary in here, and then I'll run the loop. And my converted array, you can see that I don't have any numbers, I have letters. And the final step is to make it into a string again. So this is where the .join function comes in. So I'll just do convert array.join. This is a test, this is only a test. If this were a real message, you would get something meaningful. Oh, you know, I totally didn't try and figure out what the original message is. So this is the first time I'm reading it myself. So anyways, yeah, these are just 2 ways that you can go about solving this challenge, which makes it so much more interesting, right? Of course, there are other ways that you can do this. This is just how I decided to do it. So hopefully this was helpful. And it's the last of the challenge. I hope you guys have completed it and have fun. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.